Welcome to another week of Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture and, of course, Larry Hudson, Chevrolet Buick GMC. Drury here alongside Clarkey, and we should almost change the name of the show. I feel like we should change the name to Instigating with the Valcks, because we had Tom on last week, and we figured why not just roll right in to another great story here. There's always lots of great stories with Tom, but this is a really special one. And you'll remember last week, Tom was somewhere very special. He was in beautiful Thunder Bay, Ontario, one of my favorite places. And he was there watching the Women's World Baseball Cup. And obviously his daughter Mia competing for Canada and winning a bronze medal for Canada. And we're very pleased to welcome Mia Valcke to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Here she is.
Thank you so much. I'm the superior Valk. I'll just put that out there.
Let's put that to the test. Let's do that. And obviously, congratulations are in order. An incredible performance, winning a bronze medal. Anytime you get to represent your country, which you've done a number of times in softball and baseball, it's really special. But winning a medal, I mean, how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, we feel great. Like, obviously we were gunning for gold. I'm not going to lie, but winning bronze, I couldn't be more proud of our group. And it's just kind of fueling our fire for the next time around. And hopefully we can come home with gold.
You beat Mexico 4-2 in the bronze medal game. Obviously, Japan continuing their dominance. Your dad did warn us when we talked to him last week that they are kind of a force in women's baseball. I mean, it's 7 straight titles. It's just incredible what they're doing. But you guys are the youngest team that competed at the tournament this year. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you're setting the bar pretty high, and your group must be feeling like you have a pretty good shot at trying to dethrone the Japanese from this run they're on, because you're the youngest group and you won a medal, Mia.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the average age of Japan was definitely high 20s and ours was 21. So we have a super young group, which is exciting because, yeah, we won bronze this year and it hopefully will only go up from here, right? We'll have the same crew for a while now, I'd like to think. So that's absolutely our plan. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. But we lost by 1 to Japan in the World Cup this year. So we know we can do it. And I feel really confident moving forward.
And I noticed the World Cup ranking, or the world rankings, came out today, and Canada moved up 4 spots to number 3. So congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, that's pretty amazing to be ranked number 3 in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. Like I said, I mean, I honestly couldn't be more proud of our group, but my expectations are so high for this group. So I'm just hoping we keep going up.
Yeah.
Take us through kind of your experience at the tournament with such a young group. I mean, what's the mindset going in? Because you're taking on a lot of world powers, Japan, Mexico, of course, who you beat in the bronze, the US, who are always powerful. What was the mindset going in? Because you go in as the youngest group and you pull something like this off. I mean, you guys went in there with a bit of a chip on your shoulder, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. It's so weird. I'm only 24, but I'm the most experienced in terms of just number of World Cups. That feels very bizarre to me. I am used to being the young one. So, and I think I'm young. So to have to pull a young group like that together. And yeah, I think it just, we lost 2 tough games to Japan and USA. We just needed to really believe that we could do it. But with a young group, the nerves are high, right? So I think it just was about, calming down, trusting ourselves, trusting, all the work that we've put in all year for this. And, those 2 games happened, but we really showed up when it came to the other games, and to pull off a bronze with that group. It really was amazing. It was an awesome week.
You just said all the work you put into it. Tell us about the work you put into it. How many days a week are you training? What's the process to A, play for Team Canada, which is amazing, but B, just keep up your skills?
Yeah, I mean, baseball is growing quickly for women in Canada, which is really exciting. When I was 16, I played on a boys team growing up. I did not have a lot of opportunities. So each province, essentially, we have a provincial team, and every summer you kind of get together. And, for Team Ontario, which is the team I played for, it's kind of every weekend, maybe one time during the week we get together. So it's not a lot, but last year, actually, a league started in Quebec. It's called the Canada East League, and they had 3 teams last year. This team, we had 4 all-female teams playing against each other. So given that I took last year off to pursue my master's, I was like, I need as much baseball as I can get before this World Cup to really feel prepared. So I moved to Quebec join this league. And since April, I've been practicing and playing with them full time until the World Cup began. So,
And we're going to get into softball in a minute, but tell us your journey in baseball. Like, where did you go to school? Did you play in university? Tell us your journey that way.
yeah, so played baseball until like once I could walk. That was what I did. I mean,
Firstly with the boys, as you mentioned.
yes, with the boys, yeah. I mean, even my dad, it was inevitable that I would be playing baseball. I had an older brother, did everything he did. So softball was not really an option for me. So yeah, I played baseball. There was a couple girls until I was like maybe 11 or 12. And then yeah, everyone dropped off to either pursued another sport or pursued softball, but I stuck with baseball for as long as I could. But yeah, like I said, at that time, there were not a lot of post-secondary opportunities for a woman to go play. So at the age of 16, I tried out for the Waterloo Ghosts, a softball team, a good softball team, close to my hometown, and made it. So from that age on, I was back and forth playing both, but my goal was to go play at university. And I was scouted by the University of British Columbia, and my brother coincidentally went there. So that had a big part in it as well. But I played 5 years at UBC, which I loved. And yeah, it's weird. I mean, COVID affected me too, but just since 16, every summer, it's kind of been baseball or softball, maybe both. Yeah, trying to just pursue as many opportunities as I can to play for the national team.
So let's dive into that a little bit. Baseball versus softball. Obviously, a lot of differences in the two sports. I coached girls softball for years. My daughter moving up from squirt, I think, was the lowest level, up to midget. I know it's changed now, but those were the levels. We made it to nationals one year when she was in U19, so that was exciting. Besides the obvious, as in they always say if this softball game was any slower, they would call it baseball. However, that being said, what do you see as the major differences between baseball and softball, and what are the similarities?
I mean, yeah, it's so funny. People ask this question. Like, I think a lot of people use the terms interchangeably, and I'm like, they could not be more different. I know they look the same from the outside, like what the field looks like, the bases, the rules, but yeah, the bases are closer in softball, the pitching is closer. You know, you can't steal in softball. Like, we're facing rise balls in softball. Like, they're honestly so completely different.
Is your swing different?
Yes and no. Like I tried not to change too much, but when the ball's coming up at your face in softball versus down at you, I have a pretty big exaggerated load in baseball because I have so much time. I actually have trouble sitting back. And then I come to softball and I'm like, I do not have time for that. Like, so yeah, I would say where I start, my hands are a little bit different. In softball, like I just need to be kind of already in my load. Quick hands, I keep my hands a little bit higher, just given like the rise ball that can be thrown at you. Whereas baseball I have so much more time. And then it's similar with fielding, right? I play shortstop for both, and in baseball I can take a couple steps after I field the ball. Double plays, happen pretty much every game, and then softball, I would be lucky if we had a double play once throughout the year.
Right.
Just different. So
yeah.
Watching the pitch, because I know as a batter, I mean, a big part of it is trying to read how the pitch looks coming out of the pitcher's hand. And you must have a pretty good eye, because last week when we had your dad on, like that night, you guys were playing Chinese Taipei. You went 5 for 5. You had an excellent performance. You were the star of the game. Okay. Let's not beat around the bush here. We're talking to a really accomplished athlete here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But then you're also very good at playing softball. And like Clarkey said, the pitching and reading the pitches could not be more different. Take us through your mindset when you're in the batter's box in both. How are you trying to look at the pitcher's hand and read those pitches? Because I couldn't even process trying to do one, let alone both.
Yeah, if you ask my dad, I think my biggest weakness as a hitter is I think too much. So it's funny. Yeah, I have very different mindsets for both. But then honestly, sometimes like when it came to that Chinese Taipei game, what I was doing was not working for me. And I literally had to be like, see ball, hit ball, like stop thinking, trust your mechanics, trust your basics. But that was a panic World Cup. I need to change something. But for the most part, like, yeah, in baseball, like I said, like I have trouble sitting back, like compared to softball. I just have so much time to read the pitch, think about it, whatever. So yeah, it has to do with my hands. I think the load for me has always been my biggest issue. So in that Chinese Taipei game, I just moved my hands start a little bit further back, I move them a little bit forward, and they just like, I just kind of went back with the pitch, if that makes sense. Because I felt like I was seeing the ball well, I was reading pitches well, picking, the best pitch to hit, but then just was not executing. So, yeah, it just came down to timing and kind of trusting my basics. And then in softball, yeah, I honestly, like, I can't even think. Like, see ball, hit ball, my, not to expose myself, but my worst pitch was a changeup in softball because they're so close to you. I just like geared up to hit, and then as soon as you throw a loopy thing, like, yeah, that's when I have my ugly swing. So I don't really know if I have an answer for you, but yeah, softball just super quick, see it, hit it, and baseball really need to sit back. So
It sounds like Clarkey. Sorry to jump in on you.
It's all good.
What it sounds like to me is what you're saying is you made adjustments. And so I would like to petition to you to be the new hitting coach for the Toronto Blue Jays.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That's exactly what I was going to say.
I don't know if you
went
watched
with the pitches,
last week's show.
You hit a ground ball, you hit a line drive, you went the opposite way, you hit one off the top of the wall, you adjusted. You didn't try to hit a home run every swing. Amazing what happens, right?
Right.
And you guys won.
Yeah. That's actually so funny you said that because yeah, just coming from the league this summer, I really thought I prepared well, and I was doing quite well at the end of our season. And I just was like, I'm going to let loose at this World Cup. Like I just felt really confident in where I was. And I think honestly, I was trying so hard and wanting to hit home runs and wanting to hit, I had a run around two. I'm like, oh, I'm going to crush a double and get her home. Like you can't, I really had to teach myself, stop thinking about the outcome and focus on the process. So I think that game truly for me, I was like, I need to just focus on myself and what I'm doing here. And then, what do you know? One off the fence, one to right field. My first base coach said to me, she's like, you're dialed when you can hit one off the left field fence and then drive one to right field. So I felt really confident and proud of the adjustments that I made in that game.
How do we get Mia on a flight to Toronto tomorrow?
Well, listen, you remember Jamie, I can't remember her last name. I coached her in ball. She's a minor league hitting instructor for the Jays. Can't remember her last name, but there you go. So it's out there. We need to get you there.
Oh my gosh. Fly me there. I would love to.
I think your dad, if you watched last week's show, and some of the complaints your dad had about our Blue Jays, I think he'd be thrilled to see you come up and help some of these guys out because it's outside
Should be
of one
a father-daughter
guy,
coaching for the Jays.
Let's do a clinic.
Exactly. Let's get him out of the soccer thing he's in now. I don't understand the soccer thing, but anyway, hey, you know what? I don't know if you remember this, but back in 2019, we had a chance to meet in Irvine, California when you're there for the U19s. And I actually met your family. Your mom came up to me during the game and said, "You're calling Mia Valcke. It's actually Valk." And I'm like, "Okay, sorry." She goes, her dad's watching, and I think it was in China. He was watching our broadcast. So we got the name right. But it's turned into a nice friendship with Tom and I because he told me about his career in broadcasting, and obviously I'm in the same career. Talk about the friendship and the people you've met along the way. There's a picture of us right there. See, there is.
Yes, yeah.
There's definitely proof that I was there in Irvine back in 2019. But just talk about all the lifelong friendships you've made along the way.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I've made so many. I'm so lucky, honestly, to get to wear Canada across my chest, play a sport I love, play with people I love, and meet people, especially, just girls with like common goals, right? Like, we've all, every summer, happily, but dedicated our lives to ball, right? We miss out on a lot of social events and birthdays and, whatever, because we're just like, baseball's our life. So to play and meet girls who are just driven, and want the same thing, are friendships that I will have for the rest of my life. This summer, especially playing in that Quebec League, I think there was about half of us who were playing together and then all made the national team. So the relationships that I made with some of those girls this summer, like we don't get any time together in the summer. We all meet up, have a camp. We're all fighting for a spot. So not the most friendly environment. And then 20 of us make a team and we're together for 2 weeks. Like we don't get a lot of bonding time. So to have that league and that opportunity for me this summer was a game changer. Like you could feel it. Like we just felt so much more connected. And I think back to your point with a young team, like, we all had a chance to really bond this summer. So the age didn't really phase us. Like we were really connected. And then just players from other teams, like I hate to say it, but I am friends with quite a few of the USA girls. And despite their outward appearance of being a little scary, they're lovely people. We got to hang out with Japan and Mexico and Venezuela the last night. Like I had a blast. I think, competing in a World Cup is amazing, but building relationships, empowering women in baseball, creating these friendships are just as important to me. So I couldn't be luckier.
Now, the last couple of weeks, we've been watching the Olympics, and I've been watching rock climbing, and I've been watching table tennis. How do we get women's baseball and softball?
How is it not already?
It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
It must be frustrating for you. And I know a girl, I don't know if you know Janet Leung, but she played. So I coached Janet in squirt. I coached her quite a ways up, and she was in the last Olympics, I believe. But how do we get it back in there?
Yeah, I mean, we literally were having this conversation last night when we were watching some of the sports, especially because, some sports have, love basketball, but we have basketball, then we have 3-on-3, we have rugby sevens. Like I'm like
skateboarding.
How do we not have baseball and softball in this?
Exactly.
So as far as I know, it is in LA because I guess the host country gets to have, make some decisions, but as far as I know, it's men's baseball and women's softball, which is devastating because this summer really, I always knew women's baseball, like we could compete, but after this summer, like the level has really improved. Like we have girls throwing mid-80s, like that is something, new. Like my center fielder, shout out Senna Catterall, like she made 3 of the most outstanding catches I've ever seen in my life. And I grew up watching baseball, like, oh my gosh. And our men's softball program is also growing and they can compete as well. I don't know why they're not in there all the time. It was super.
You gotta get your dad on that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's we're fighting the fight. We complain about it all the time.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, just keep showing that we can compete. Like, I'm always asking, like, sports and MLB Blue Jays, like, post about us, please. Like, post my center fielders highlight reels. Like, insane. Like, I just, I think we could go on the same trajectory as basketball. And, now we have hockey's growing for women in Canada. Like, I think.
Yeah.
We just need to keep fighting and spread awareness. I still get, some comments being like, oh, you mean softball? I'm like, no, we're playing baseball. Like
I got caught up last night watching ESPN. There was a Little League game on Indiana versus Illinois. And it was an unbelievable game, but it's just the exposure. They get the exposure. It wasn't even the Little League World Series. It was the qualifier. Whoever won got to go there, but it was an extra inning game. Illinois scored 4 in the last inning to tie it up. I mean, it's exciting sport. It's not like it doesn't last 4 seconds climbing a wall. Like I don't get it. It needs to have more coverage and be in the Olympics.
I agree. The Olympic thing has confused me. I don't understand how it's not in there. I mean, look, I love skateboarding. Skateboarding's great. I play Tony Hawk all the time. I mean, I can't do it, but I love it. But how do we not have something like baseball? And in LA, it would make sense that they're trying to include some of it. I wish that they would also include women's baseball so we could watch Mia dominate down there and go 5 for 5. But I think we just need to get like Mia and Tom will record a PSA here on the show and we'll send it to the IOC and we'll get some. You
have
some
friends
traction.
there, don't you, Drury? You have friends at the IOC.
Yeah. Sure. We'll get some traction moving is my point here. And I mean, to not have it be included in America, it's America's pastime. Like, come on here. What are we doing? You don't want to watch your women down there, like potentially win a gold medal? Come on. I mean, Canada will win, but let's go here. I don't know.
It's frustrating too, because I did go pursue softball as well. And, I played on the junior team, and the senior team is definitely something I would have pursued. If women's baseball wasn't going to be in the Olympics, I thought, okay, 2024, let me try for the softball team. And then it wasn't even in the Olympics in Paris this year because the host, I'm just like, please.
Yeah.
It's bizarre, but all we can do is just keep fighting, keep, spreading awareness that we can compete. So
100%. Well, and you made reference obviously to the women's league in Quebec, and you referenced obviously the PWHL and what that's done for hockey. Like, there's no reason that we can't continue pushing and growing the sport and doing the same thing for baseball and softball. Obviously, I do want to ask you too. You mentioned you've grown up around the sport. I mean, how could you not, with your dad and everything that he's done in his life, and you've been a lifelong fan. I wonder who some players were, maybe on both the men's and women's side, that inspired you, maybe that you watched growing up that you wanted to play like. When you reflect back, like, who are some players that you remember watching that really made you passionate about the game?
I have a couple, to be honest, not to be cheesy, but like my first one's my brother. Like,
That's not cheesy. That's nice.
I just like, oh my gosh, like I did everything he did. Which, didn't always end well for me either. But no, like he loved baseball. So he honestly would probably be my biggest role model in terms of that. But, luckily with my dad, being involved in baseball, I got to meet a lot of the Blue Jays. Brett Laurie and Danielle Laurie were two people that I got to meet, which both inspired me, both in softball and baseball. Their aggression, like their grit. They said that their dad made them get up at like 5, 6 a.m. before school to go train. I was like, okay, this is, maybe something, what it takes to be a competitor. And then Ashley Stevenson, she's like our Haley Wickenheiser of baseball. Like, she is the GOAT. She's just outstanding. And I got to meet her when I was, I think, 12 or 13 and started joining in the Team Ontario weekends. And yeah, I got to meet her. I loved everything about her, and she has a bit of a sailor's mouth. And it was so funny. My dad, we were driving to the ballpark, and he's like, this is her, like, this is who you want to be, like, do everything she does, this. And we start going, and she just starts going off with the swear words. And I was like, in the car, I'm like, okay, Dad, like, I'm allowed to swear now because Ashley Stevenson did it. It just is a funny story that we always talk about, but she's an amazing person, an amazing ball player. And she's definitely my biggest inspiration in baseball for sure. Like, I want to be everything she is. So.
Well, I think you're off to a good start, and your performance at the Women's World Cup will definitely be inspiring a lot of other young players. And I guess to end off, if you could give a message to some of the young girls out there who want to get into baseball and want to pursue baseball in particular, there's lots of great softball programs, and we want to keep amping that up. But women's baseball in particular, what would a message be that you'd maybe want to send to some of the young girls out there who want to pursue baseball in particular?
Yeah, if baseball is your sport, like, you need to pursue that. Like, it is so incredibly different from softball, as I've said. Like, they really aren't the same sport, despite how similar they look. And if your passion is baseball, like that was mine growing up. And unfortunately, at the time when I was 16, I did not have much of a choice if I wanted to pursue something post-secondary. But now you can see a handful of girls who are at this tournament who are playing D1, D2 in the States. I have a couple girls on my team are playing on, junior varsity teams in Canada. So if baseball is your goal, like, just stick with it, enjoy it, try to make our national team. Like, these World Cups are something I will never forget. So yeah, if baseball is your sport, stick with it.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. And I think after a still very long playing career ahead of you, I think coaching might be in your future. I think that might be something that you would be good at pursuing. Maybe for the Blue Jays, maybe you can fix some of these problems we're having up here with them. Mia, you said at the start of this interview that you're the superior Valcke. And I think with that bronze medal that's hanging up somewhere safe, I hope, I think that we might just have to give you that title. We appreciate you doing this so much. We love having you and your dad on to chat ball. This is great. Congratulations again. And thanks for all the hard work you put in for Canada.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for having me. This was a pleasure. I'm available anytime. Not my dad, if you want to call me.
Perfect.
I'm here anytime.
Perfect.
So,
you think the Jays can turn things around or what?
I hope so.
Oh, God. Yeah.
We talk Blue Jays too much in this household, so I get near full all the time.
And we like that. And next time we want to dissect what's going on with the team, which we'll do a little bit of later. We're going to call you first. How about that?
Let's do it.
Deal? Perfect.
Deal. Yeah. Sorry.
There you go. Okay.
Fantastic.
Don't tell your dad.
I won't.
No, this is under wraps.
Yeah.
Mia Valcke, everybody. So great to have her on. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Clarkey and I got to chat. There's lots going on. There's Olympics, there's baseball stuff to talk about, lots to discuss in the world of sports. Next, here on Instigating. Welcome back to Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture. That's Highway 86, east end of Listowel, by the way. We're going to hear more from them later, of course, with the couch potato wrapping the show, as we always do. And, of course, our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC, and we've got to do a review there. Thanks again, really quick, though, to Mia Valcke. I mean, that was, Clarkey, that was so fun. It's not every day. Look, we've had some really cool guests on here, but it's not every day that you have a bronze medalist, a World Cup medalist in any sport on the show. It was so much fun to have her on.
And from the area.
Again.
From the area as well.
From the area. The St. Mary's roots, of course. Canadian baseball
Stratford,
fame over
St.
there.
Mary's, yeah.
Stratford, incredible stuff. Played for the Waterloo Ghosts program as well.
And like I was talking to Tom earlier in the week, and he's in Georgia. And just went through Georgia. The hurricane. So he said, like, our fingers are crossed here that everything's going to be fine. And luckily we talked to Mia just before she came on about the hurricane. She said it did go through there a little bit yesterday, but it was a beautiful sunny day today. So it all worked out.
Yeah, unreal stuff. Yeah, hurricane season, man. It's not fun down there, let me tell you. And, luckily,
it's coming here Friday or today, I guess, is the show.
Yeah, we're gonna get the tail end of that storm system for sure. And and speaking of a storm, there was a big storm here in Listowel on the civic holiday. Okay, there was a big storm, and if you missed it, boy, you missed it. It's not coming back around for another year. Clarkey, tell us all about what I'm sure was a hectic day with our friends at 1000 Wallace Avenue.
Larry Hudson's, where the deals are hot, and the Monday was really hot. Lots of deals going down Monday. I had a really good day. The dealership had a good day. And more importantly, the customers had a really good day and got some really good deals. And things are continuing, though, as very hot. As they say, it's back. You know what's back? Employee pricing is back.
Wow.
Yes. So employee pricing on trucks, on large SUVs is back. And for the next, who knows how long, but it is back at the moment. And the trucks are flying off the lot. So come on down, see me, see your sales rep, and let's get yourself into a brand new truck.
Absolutely. There you go. Beautiful. Our friends at Larry Hudson's ramping up. Is that like, does Sean just have like a switch he flips in there, employee pricing back on? We don't know.
No, it's not Sean. It's GM. It's corporate. It's GM. It's not Sean.
I thought it was just a little button.
Sean has a lot of influence, obviously. Sean just says, hey, we need employee pricing back. And they said, okay, Sean is back. So yeah, there you go.
Maybe I gave him too much credit. I figured you or he had a little button under the desk that you pushed, like in one of those spy movies, and it just kind of and like a little horn goes off. Employee pricing.
That would be nice.
Yeah,
that would be nice. That would be really nice. So yeah, I had a lot of
employee pricing.
A lot of customers came in on Monday, and one didn't. One friend didn't show up, even though last week he mentioned he might.
Here's the thing, and I would have done so. Here's the thing, because you know what? With the intention of doing that, I invited Janice, my dear mother, who's a hero, over on the weekend. I said, you know what? They've been working. She's an auto worker. I mentioned that last week, and she's been working a lot of Saturdays. Yeah, it's weird. They have like a week-long summer shutdown, and then every Saturday following that, you got to work on Saturday.
Nice.
Just don't do the shutdown. Nice. But whatever. Yeah. So I thought, hey, it'd be really cool, Mom, Saturday night when you're off work. Why don't you come over? We'll hang out for a couple days, and maybe we'll wheel on over to our friends at Larry Hudson's, and we'll see Mr. Clark. And she said, I would love to do that. I have to work on Monday. She did not get the civic holiday, which is not a stat day. People forget that. It's not a stat day. And I actually think, isn't there a province that doesn't even celebrate it? Like,
it is in Ontario. It's a provincial holiday. Like
Yeah,
not all of them,
I
not all
don't
of them
think.
celebrate it. No, for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. So anyway,
Yep.
I got the
Yep.
very sad news. Mother would
Yeah.
not be enjoying the
Well,
holiday.
sad for you. Sad for me.
Absolutely. I'm sure
But
she
she
would have
can
been
still come in.
thrilled.
We can still set up an appointment and
We'll
have her come
figure
in.
something out.
Not a
We
problem.
will
Not a
figure
problem.
something out.
Employee pricing back. Just remember
That's
that.
right. Well, and hey, she could use some new wheels. I think Mom deserves some new wheels.
Yeah.
Winter coming up too. She might need something with
Exactly.
a little bit of heft. Like some
There you
trucks
go.
available. Let's go.
Let's
You know,
go.
We were a truck family growing up. All right.
There you
Trucks
go.
and
It's
Jeeps,
time.
That's what we were all about. So
I got a good
maybe I
deal
need
for
to
her.
swing
So
Mom
come on
back
in.
onto the truck team.
on
Speaking
in.
of teams, obviously
Yeah.
the baseball season is
Yeah.
we're in the dog days right now, man. I mean, it's
Yes, we
August
are.
and it's really the dog days if you're generally the dog days aren't till about September, but we're in them now. And
No, they're
and
now.
I am
August. They're August. It's the dog days of August.
I'm particularly
September is the
in them.
pennant race.
Yes, I'm particularly in them though because the three teams that I have an affinity for, one which I've abandoned, of course, the Oakland Athletics. They're the Oakland Athletics. Need I say more?
Hey,
The
but
Cubs are. I don't even know what the deal is there. I think that they're going with the same thing that the Jays are trying to sell people. We're going to compete next year. They had an active trade down. They
I love
added
that
at the deadline.
It's awesome. We're going to compete next year.
The Cubs added at the deadline. They're last in the division. Like what are they doing? And then you turn and you look at the Blue Jays and we want to compete next year. And Mark Shapiro came out and had just a doozy of a press conference this week with just more platitudes and fun things and buzzwords. And I don't know, man.
We don't
I'm
need to get into
trouble-
those guys again.
I'm having trouble watching baseball right now. Like I'm finding no enjoyment in it. My soul feels empty when I watch it. And I turn on the TV and I like to watch Paul Skeens. Like if you haven't tuned in and watched that kid pitch, Clarkey, like I would suggest
I'm going to
you do
Pittsburgh
that.
next week, but unfortunately they don't play while I'm there.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you going to Pittsburgh for? Are you going to go scope Russell Wilson?
No,
down there
I'm
at
going to a
Steelers camp?
concert. I'm going to a concert.
Let me take a wild guess.
You're not going to
who you're
guess.
going to
It's
see.
not who you think, and you're not
Oh.
going to guess.
Really? Okay, because Clarkey, look, this is a sports show, but Clarkey has, I'm sure you all know, a big affinity for one Lionel Richie. Was it me you're
Lionel
looking
tattoo?
for?
Do you want to see my Lionel tattoo?
Do you actually have one?
No, I don't.
I was going to say,
I had
'cause
you
that
going,
would be
though.
new. I saw you recently.
Yes, it
and
would
that's-
be. It's in the works.
So you're not seeing Lionel in the Steel
No.
City. Who are we going to see?
I'm going to see the boss, Bruce
Are you?
Springsteen.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Get me a poster, dude.
Yeah? You want a poster?
I'm actually serious. Get me a poster.
Okay.
I got a buddy up here who loves concert posters.
Like, can't you just order a poster on Amazon? Like, why do I need to get you one? I mean, I will, but
get
would
me
you
a
be-
poster? I'll tell you why. Because
okay.
when artists do these tours,
Mm-hmm.
generally what they do is they have like tour merch that they take with them.
Yeah, sure.
But when it's a really big artist like the Boss or Pearl Jam's infamous for this too, they have city specific merch
Okay.
where they'll have a poster that
Maybe.
you can only get at that show.
Okay.
So that's the deal. I don't want a shirt. I got a Boss shirt. I love the Boss. He's the boss. All right. Look, I'm going to turn on the river right after I get off.
Okay.
Right? Tunnel of Love's the
Do
best
that.
one, by the way. Hot
Yeah.
takes for Jimmy there.
There you go.
Kate's dad's the biggest Springsteen fan ever. So you're going to
Yeah.
have a blast at that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be, and a great sports
And
city,
I was,
too.
it is, and I was hoping maybe like a game would be rained out between now and then, and they would play Thursday afternoon, and I'd be able to catch it, but I don't think so yet. So I've been watching because they're
bet
off. I
you-
think they're off on Thursday, so I thought, well, there might be a chance
Yes.
that's for a rain day, right? Hey, with the hurricane going through, maybe we'll get a rain day. I don't know.
You never
Anyway,
know.
So,
You never know. And
yeah.
and I honestly
I've been to a
would be
Pirates game
surprised-
before. It's a great stadium. Beautiful. stadium.
I've heard that PNC and again, unfortunately, just a crap ownership group that does not invest in making that team good. Like, enjoy Paul Skeens while you can, Pirates fans, because he's going to be a Yankee in 5 years. It's a joke. And yeah, it's a beautiful park. You can hit homers into the river on the out the
and the bridge in the background is picturesque, as they would say.
It's an amazing looking park and just an absolute joke of an ownership group. I
have a meeting with Dubas while I'm there, so we'll see how that goes.
He might give him my demo reel.
He wants to hire me.
Reel.
Yeah.
What's he hiring you for?
Practice goalie.
That would be about the only position you're qualified for, my friend.
Just to raise the confidence level of all the shooters on the team.
I don't think that Sid and Gino need that.
Oh, by the way,
birthday the other day.
Yeah. Speaking of Pennsylvania hockey, Pooley says hello. Spoke to Pooley today. So there you go.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Pooley, what a beauty.
Yeah. He's happy with his acquisition of Linus Allmark. He's very happy with that. And
I bet he is.
He is. Yeah.
You need a goalie.
Yeah.
For sure.
He'll come back on the show. Just a matter of when.
That would be fantastic. Obviously, helping run the Senators show over there, and Pooley, one of the smarter minds in hockey, and a great friend of this show as well. Now, here's something I wanna throw your way, because baseball, it makes me sad. But you know what? You know what's not making me sad right now? Are Olympians right now. I mean, outside of the drone scandal with the women's soccer team, who to be fair to them, performed very admirably.
Overcame that, but then lost, right?
Vanessa Gilles was just fantastic, and then they ended up losing. But hey, dire circumstances. Yeah. Outside of that, though, there have been some incredible performances across the Olympics so far. And I mean, Summer McIntosh has now become a household name, but I mean, man, we've seen some really, really incredible stuff. I wanted a better outcome for Corey. Obviously, Listowel's on Corey Connors.
Hey, top 10 finish is pretty good, though.
He had a top 10. Corey's he finishes T10 a lot. Yeah. Like,
I think Corey's he might be back in Listowel. I walked by his house the other day, and it looked like there might have been a little celebration going on. Just so you know.
There you go. Well, dude, he was an Olympian. I mean,
exactly.
He's arguably the best golfer in this country. I mean, him and Nick Taylor would be right up there. Mac Hughes has his day, but what my point is, our Olympians are performing very well over there in Paris. It's been incredible. And just watching that, and Summer McIntosh in particular, this kid's 17 years old. It's outrageous what she's doing. And I mean, I don't know about you, Clarkey. I don't even think there's anybody else that even needs to show up to be the flag bearer for the closing ceremony.
She's come home. She's got to fly back.
And she said she would.
I know.
She said she'd fly back, and they absolutely should. They should fly her first class to the ceremony. I mean, there's nobody else even close. And
I love people questioning her why she left. Maybe she has stuff to do, maybe she has a job. Maybe
she's 17. She's probably finishing getting ready for university.
Anyway, people were like, "Why is she flying home?" Well, she obviously has a reason. Get off her back.
She's a homebody. Anyway. She doesn't want to hang out for 3 weeks. She's already been there.
Exactly.
Paris seems like a cool place, but she wanted to fly home. Big deal.
Yeah.
She wanted to come back to the best country. How about that? She wanted to come home and flash her silverware off, her goldware, I should say. 3 gold medals. I mean, just an absolutely amazing freak performance at the Olympics. And
disappointing though on the track, I think. A little,
well, our buddy Andre DeGrasse, I think that years of some injury troubles and just getting a little. I mean, he's 31 now, if memory serves.
Yeah, I think he's up there.
And I heard an interview with the great Donovan Bailey the other day on Overdrive, and he was basically kind of breaking that down with him, just saying, look, this is it's all about the next young, quick. There's always somebody younger and faster coming up behind you, and it catches up to you. It just does. But
what I found interesting about that interview, which I watched as well, is him talking about the technology and how much it's improved. And he thinks he could have ran a 9.4. Well, he didn't think so. Someone told him he would have.
His old coach,
said you would have run a 9.4 if you had this equipment. Amazing.
So I believe his Olympic time, which was then a record in 96 when he won that gold medal in Atlanta and broke a lot of American hearts, by the way.
Too bad.
They were the favorites to win that. I believe he ran a 9.84, and that was in 1996.
Yeah, 94.
And he was saying in the interview that his old coach told him that with the shoes of today and the way the tracks are being built, because that was something I didn't realize either, that they're building the tracks differently with different material. I'm like, really? It's not just like dirt?
I don't think it's ever been dirt. It's always been like
it's
synthetic.
Like
don't do this for synthetic.
It's got some spongy. It's got some spider tack on there. Garrett Cole knows what you're talking about. There's some spider tack on the track.
Yeah.
But he was saying that his old coach, basically, long story short, told him that he feels that if Donovan was in his prime today and had today's shoes and tracks, that he could run between a 9.5 and a 9.6, which is absolutely crazy. The world record, by the way, Usain Bolt, of course, owns it, is 9.58 in the 100 meter, which just seems subhuman. I
think Ben ran 9.79.
Was it not 9.84 in 96? Did he run 9.79?
Ben.
Oh, Ben. Well, that's different, isn't it? But
no, he just got caught.
Right. Clarkey, that's another thing. Clarkey has a vendetta against every Olympian. He thinks everyone's cheating.
No, I don't think that. But I just think we are all naive if we don't think it's going on. And I think that Russian doping scandal proved it.
Come on, absolutely. It's
right.
Russia. You've watched the documentary.
I have.
Yeah,
Icarus.
Really, if you haven't watched that, Icarus,
it's unbelievable.
Crazy.
It is unbelievable.
It blew
and just
my
proves
mind.
that it's going on left, right, and center. Like it's going on.
Man, look, Lance.
But the masking agents are just better than the testing. That's all there is to it.
Lance Armstrong, Barry Bonds, run down your list, take your pick. I mean, this stuff's going on, man, and it's sad. I haven't heard any whisper of that at this year's Olympics, which is good.
Yeah.
And that maybe that's unfortunate.
Ben was 9.79. Just Google
9.79. Incredible.
Yeah. And I was in college. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget where I was. Never forget who I was with. It was an unbelievable event. The build up to that event was unreal. And when Ben Johnson beat Carl Lewis, it was unbelievable. And then the next day wasn't good.
Yeah, he popped. Not good. Very not good. Haven't heard anything like that from this Olympics so far, and hopefully it stays that way.
That's right.
Overall, Canada, like the men's basketball team, that was upsetting. Like they should have been a shoe-in for at least a silver, if not compete for gold.
Sure.
Really a bummer there. But like, hey, like producer Adam said before the show, we actually won a lot of medals in events that we've never won medals in before, which is great to see. A gold medal in judo competition. That's incredible. Like hammer throw. We apparently Canadians, we're really good at throwing hammers, ladies and gentlemen. We're really good.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk it?
Yeah,
and,
but that goes back to the old ages, the hammer throw, right?
That's a old Olympic sport. Yeah, you're kicking it back thousands of years.
Yeah.
Hey, how far can someone throw something? I mean, that's about as primitive as it gets.
And that's all they had to throw was a hammer.
Absolutely. It might not have been a hammer.
Hey, man, we need something heavy to throw. Here, try this hammer. That's how it became a sport.
What a great historical breakdown.
That's right.
From Christopher Clark, MD. I want to talk to you too. This is something that I know that you've been tracking. How about our volleyball team, who had a rough start?
Hey, they're the gold medal game,
and now
the women's beach volleyball team made it to the gold medal game.
Yes, we're recording this August 8th, but hey, incredible considering the start they had. And now they've turned it right around, and what an unbelievable! And you've been keeping a keen eye on it, Clark.
I have. It's to stand out there in that beach. That sand is very hot, first of all, and it takes a. Listen, I play hockey. I'm a goalie. When I go down and get up and go down and get up and go, you get tired very fast. These athletes are in unbelievable shape, like the beach volleyball players. They're in unreal shape, they dive for a ball. The other person sets it, and that person gets up, runs to it's great, spectacular spectacle of sport. It's really neat to watch, for sure.
Yeah, it's explosive stuff. And I mean, just speaking from a person that hates the beach, I cannot stand searing hot sand on the bottom of my feet.
Can I, exactly. No, that's what I mean. Like amazing. I've performed on the beach, like I danced on the beach, obviously, but it wasn't hot. It wasn't that hot. This is in the scorching sun. scorching sun. And while we're talking about the Olympics, producer Adam, I'm going to throw a little wrench here, but I'd like to do my couch potato because it's Olympic related. Is that okay if I just throw it in now?
Sure, you can do whatever you want.
Okay.
Conway Furniture Couch Potato. Here's Clarkey.
Adam, if you
get your hat.
Sorry.
Get your hat though. He's got the hat. He's prepared.
I got the hat.
I'll put mine on then. If you're gonna do yours, I'll put the hat on. Conway, our couch potato brought to you by Conway Furniture, Highway 86.
See, now I'm gonna kill time because as much as I said for Adam to get ready,
right?
I'm not exactly ready for this.
Where's Conway Furniture located, guys? Where's it located?
Oh, here it is.
Conway
Phil Main.
Furniture, Highway 86, just east of Listowel.
There, bought you a few seconds, Clarkey.
Okay, here's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say anything else, Ryan. Except we've seen some cool things at the Olympics. We've seen some unfortunate things happen at the Olympics. I'm just gonna say this guy's name.
Don't
I'm not showing any viz, but Anthony Amoretti from France. Posted. There he is. He's a friend, and I want to congratulate him. Not for the pole vaulting, just want to congratulate him. But he posted this on Twitter afterwards. Adam, if you want to roll that in, should be coming any minute. But he posted this on. If you don't know Anthony, just Google pole vault and Anthony, and it'll come up. But he posted something on Twitter, and it was in French, and I didn't know what it meant. But Adam and I did a little translation. And it means you make more buzz for your package than for your performances. I'll leave it at that. He posted it on Twitter. We're not going to say anything else. Just Google it if you want to know what I'm talking about. But congratulations, Anthony.
And you know what? One thing I really appreciate that from Anthony, our friend Anthony, if you will.
Yes, right.
And he had a bit of a mishap at the Olympics. Yes, we cannot show it.
It was a big mishap. Let's be honest. It wasn't a little.
It was, and congrats to him indeed. Good for him. I think that it couldn't have worked out better for him. I don't think winning the gold would have done more for him
exactly
than his little mistake. And we
quit calling it little.
And we we don't know much about Anthony other than he competed in these Olympics.
I know nothing about it.
A bit of a spectacle.
One thing about
we don't know if he's single, but if he is, congratulations are indeed in order. Good for you. And Google it. We cannot show it because kids watch this show, and we're not going to show. We're not going to show. I can't believe that you made that your couch.
Come on, why not? That's good.
Yes, I can. Well, and that guy, Anthony, should come and see our friends at Conway Furniture.
Absolutely.
They've got all sorts of bigger, deeper chairs. They got whatever you need.
Recliners. Yeah.
They got whatever you need in there, man. I'm so hot right now. This is the worst thing we've ever done on this show.
Boy.
This is worse than when we tried to make Clarkey like a professional Zamboni driver that one time.
Yeah, that was a good bit. Yeah.
This is a lot, but congratulations to Anthony, and you should go see our friends Conway Furniture at Highway 86, east end of Listowel. They got a lot of different options in there for all
large amount of options.
Large options.
Yeah.
It's some might say huge, some might say huge. We've got huge options, huge savings in there too. There's a lot of stuff going on at Conway. You should go over there and see it. Oh my God.
Do you want to do yours now?
Yeah. All right. Well,
we're in the mood.
You've rolled us right into it, and we can have a bit of a broader discussion off the back of this. We have time. Producer Adam, look, I hate to do this, and I know we already talked a little bit about baseball, and again, thanks to Mia Valcke for coming on, bronze medalist with Canada women's baseball.
Yeah.
We need her to come and help these guys out, and maybe this guy, if he sees this, we know you watch, Mark, should call up Mia and get her seriously to come and help out the Toronto Blue Jays, because my couch potato, brought to you by Conway Furniture, is Mark Shapiro. And I don't know how many weeks in a row I need to keep doing this. I'll keep doing it. I don't care. This is embarrassing, the state of this franchise. There's Mark looking like he's
look at him.
Really,
he looks like a big dink. Look at him.
Don't say that after the last segment we just did. Don't say that, right?
But look at him. What a picture. What a picture.
Yeah, what a picture. There's Mark. And look, he came out, I'm sure Blue Jays Nation, many people watched it, the press conference he did the other day, a rare appearance in public.
Thank you so much.
Mark, the Toronto president, they don't like Shanny, like none of these.
Paul Beeson used to come on primetime with us like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that was back when you were helping, like you were a big deal over at the Fan.
And
there.
they were winning.
They won all the time back then. They back to back. See you later. That would have been a fun time.
It
to
was
be a Blue Jays fan. I wonder what that's like. I wonder what that's like.
I lived
because
through
a lot of people don't know what it's like. And this year is just such a gas can. They continue.
Yeah.
Mark went up and he to his credit took some personal responsibility.
Oh, good.
Like Ross did a little bit ago for the state of the team. And but then it was followed up by a lot of platitudes, a lot of buzzwords, a lot of confidence, a lot of adjustments, continuity was the hot word of the day. We love continuity in the front office of the Blue Jays. So says Mark Shapiro, who again, nice job with the cup holders, brother. Cool. But I think I'm confident in saying this, Chris. And Chris, you've been a lifelong Jays fan. Like you're far more in the wool than I am here. I feel confident saying this. I think Jays fans would rather sit in a crappy stadium with an awesome team than a really cool stadium with this team. And so, to continue patting this guy on the back for the new cup holders and the new screens and the bars. Whoopee.
Yeah, who cares?
There's bars all around the ballpark. I've been there.
Can't we just go and watch the game? Can't we just sit down and watch the game? Why do we need,
I don't care. Look, some people have gone down just for the experience to see what the park looks like, and that's great.
And we were going to do that.
Diehards,
right? We were going to do that.
We were going to do that.
We have no ambition to go now.
I don't want to go watch the Jays.
I don't want to support them. That's what I don't want to do.
No,
I don't want to
support what they're doing here. Yeah. Because again, it's like having a Ferrari in your driveway with a lawnmower motor in it. It doesn't matter. It's cool. You've got a neat looking car. The engine stinks. And the engine of this team is the team. So, I'm sick and tired. I argued with my friend the other day. Well, he did a good job with the renovating the stadium. The job should be to make the team fun to watch so that I want to go to the stadium no matter what. I want to go to the stadium no matter what. There are older ballparks that have still more character. It doesn't matter that the ballpark's nice. We just talked about PNC in Pittsburgh. There's hardly anybody there the other night. The only time anybody shows up is when Paul Skeens pitches. The team stinks. Why do I want to go? So I'm tired of the patting on the back, and the thing that stuck out the most to me that really bugged me, and why Mark is my couch potato, was his quote when he was specifically asked about Ross Atkins. And these questions are coming, and I give him some credit for standing up to the mic and taking these. But the part of it that made me so mad, where I almost turned the TV off, was when someone asked him, what is Ross Atkins' future here? And do you still believe he's the right man to build this competitive team that you guys keep talking about next year, given how this year and previous years have gone? And he said, it's always been my policy to not comment on people's job status during the season. That's what I did in Cleveland, and I'm going to keep that here. And then he said, without specifically referencing Ross, and this is why, Clarkey, I believe that you won't see me gracing the doorstep of the Rogers Center next year either. Because Ross, not only is Ross Atkins coming back, but I bet you
Do you really
that
think
John
he
Schneider's
is,
coming back. Yep. because what he said after was, I believe, this is word for word what he said, I believe that continuity is a competitive advantage.
But don't you think Mr. Rogers, Eddie Rogers, is going to see the light and say, you know what?
No.
The Cleveland 2.0, as Tom Valk called them, has been a disaster. Goodbye. Both of them. Goodbye. Gone. See you later. If this ownership group wants to salvage anything in the next few years, they have to move on. How can these two guys go to Ed Rogers and prove to Ed Rogers that they have any bit of future? Well, just trust us. Yes, we've been here 9 years, but just trust that we're going to win now. It'll happen now.
9 years, no playoff wins.
Zero.
An exorbitant salary structure.
Like, it's just crazy that this ownership group won't do anything.
What I think what you mean, though, is if ownership actually cares about winning, they will move on from them. If ownership cares about is a bottom line and printing money, then Mark will stick around for a while because they're very happy with the ballpark.
I don't know if they are, and I'm hearing that season ticket sales for next year is in deep trouble because the fans are speaking up and saying,
"See it when I believe it." No, and that's the thing, though. Jays fans aren't dumb. Like we take a lot of pride in the franchise up here, but that's a two-way street. Like that, and look, I'm not telling sports fans anything groundbreaking here.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
You can't have a great fan base and treat them like this, like we're dumb. And we can't see through what you're doing with your computers back there and your Minesweeper and your Solitaire, and not think that we're not going to respond by not wanting to watch on TV, listen on the radio, God forbid, go physically to the park. Well, I don't care how nice. I'll sit on wooden benches if the team's good. I'm not doing this.
As I mentioned last night, I had a choice between watching the Jays and the Orioles or Illinois versus Indiana in a game I knew nobody.
The Little League qualifier, yeah.
But every player was trying, and they bunted, they advanced runners. I got totally into the game. I wanted to go out, and I just kept watching this and watching it. And they were losing. Illinois was losing 6-2. And they tied it up in the last inning, 6-6. Now, unfortunately for them, Illinois came back and won in extra innings, but it was great theater. It was just great watching it, and it was suspenseful, and you felt for the kid. Like just one pitcher for Illinois just couldn't throw strikes, couldn't do it, and you were just sweating with him because he's a kid. He's 12 years old, and he's feeling the heat on the mound. You could just see it. I just don't see that when I'm watching the Blue Jays. I don't see it.
No, I don't know, man. It's a real problem. Anyway, that's my Conway Furniture long-winded couch potato of the week.
Yeah, and congratulations to your Oakland A's as well.
Yeah,
who stood up and let the White Sox beat them and end the 21 game, whatever
record.
Losing streak.
Games.
Can you imagine?
Streak, incredible stuff. And then just today, as we record this, the White Sox fired their manager. Mercy firing.
General manager or
Mr.
field
Griffall.
manager?
Yeah, the manager. Yeah,
the general manager.
No,
the field manager.
Yes.
Okay.
The coach, the manager. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Mr. Griffall. Yeah, it just unbelievable. Anyway, Conway Furniture. Go see them, and you'll be much more comfortable than
Tony
La
Russa.
Jays. That's
Tony La Russa coming back.
God Almighty! Now I think Tony's done.
I think so
watch,
too.
He'll end up in Toronto next year.
No, he will not.
That'll be the next brilliant move. All right,
all right, man. Good show. Good show.
Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. We debut on our YouTube channel Friday nights at 9. Follow us on social media at Instigating Pod. Find the podcast version on all your favorite apps. Thanks again to Mia Valcke. She's a superstar. The Jays are not. We need her help up here. Let's get her on a first-class flight. Ed Rogers, come on. Let's get a first-class flight for me up here. She's going to help them hit. Come on.
Let's get Tom out of that soccer thing he's
5
doing.
for 5.
Right.
Let's go.
Let's
We'll
get
be back
Tom
next
back
week.
into baseball. I won't be. Maybe I will. We'll see.
We'll see. I'll be back.
I'll be
sure
dancing
next
in the
week
dark as opposed to on the ceiling.
with more Instigating. The boss